They say that with age comes wisdom. That we learn to slow down, sleep early, and care for our bodies. But at 76, I still catch myself doing something foolish, letting Netflix steal my nights. It always starts the same: a warm dinner, washed dishes, and a cup of chamomile tea. I tell myself I'll be in bed by 10. But somehow, the remote ends up in my hand. One episode turns into 3. And suddenly it's 1:13 a.m., the blue light flickering on my glasses, and I'm not even watching anymore. Just sitting. Scrolling. Avoiding. I whisper, it's fine. 7 hours is 7 hours. But the next morning tells a different story. I wake up groggy, heavy. My blood pressure reads 144/92. My HRV is lower than last week. My heart feels like it's aging faster than the rest of me. Here's the truth I avoided for years: I wasn't just tired. I was quietly breaking down. And it wasn't the amount of sleep, it was the timing. I used to believe sleep was only about duration. But then I learned. For someone who's had a heart attack or is at risk of stroke, falling asleep at 10 p.m. versus 1 a.m. can literally mean the difference between recovery and relapse. If you've ever told yourself, I'm fine, while knowing something inside feels off, this video is for you. Because by the end of it, I'll show you the research that changed how I sleep forever. A one-page tracker that helped me restore my energy. And a quiet challenge that may just be the gentlest medicine you've never tried. This is not about perfection. It's about protection. It's about giving your heart the one thing it's been quietly begging for: rest, at the right time. And no, you won't have to do this alone. For most of my life, I believed I was doing everything right. I didn't smoke. I took walks every morning. I kept my medications in order. And when it came to sleep, I thought 7 hours was enough, no matter when I got them. Midnight, 1 a.m., sometimes even later. I even felt proud of that. Like, staying up late was proof I still had energy. Still had control. Still had time. But slowly, my body began to disagree. I started waking up with a weight in my chest. Not pain. Just heaviness. Like my heart was tired before the day even began. My hands were colder. My breath shallower. I laughed less. I skipped my walks. I told myself, you're just getting old. But deep down, I was scared. And I didn't want to say it out loud. Then one morning, I bent down to tie my shoe, and the room spun. I didn't black out, but I had to sit. And that's when I heard it, the sound of my daughter's voice, sharp with worry. Dad, this isn't normal. We're seeing a cardiologist. Enter Dr. Augusto Ochoa. Calm. Clear. 40 years of experience, and none of the sugarcoating. He looked over my data: blood pressure, resting heart rate, HRV. Then he leaned in and said, Harold, you're not letting your heart rest. You're giving it hours, but not healing. I told him, I sleep 7 hours a night. He nodded and replied, it's not the hours. It's the timing. And you've been missing the most important window. He pulled out a chart and showed me research from the American Heart Association. He called it the parasympathetic window, between 9:30 p.m. and 11 p.m., when your nervous system naturally shifts into deep recovery. Fall asleep in that window, and your cortisol resets. Your HRV improves. Your heart rate drops quickly, and repairs begin. Miss it, and your stress hormones stay active. Quietly. Invisibly. Night after night. He called it silent stress. The kind that doesn't wake you up. Just wears you down, slowly, until one day your heart can't carry the weight anymore. That explanation hit harder than any diagnosis. Because I realized, I wasn't just tired. I was inflaming my own heart, by staying awake too late. No one had warned me. No label. No checkup. It was hiding in plain sight. That night, I didn't go home with fear. I went home with clarity. I didn't change my diet. I didn't join a gym. I made one quiet decision: for 7 nights, I would sleep before 10 p.m. I didn't expect a miracle. But something inside me, maybe my heart, was finally ready to listen. The first night wasn't easy. I lay in bed at 9:55 p.m., earlier than I'd ever chosen to sleep in years. My body was restless. My mind, defiant. My hand reached for the remote. My eyes searched for a screen. But I stayed still. In the dark. Watching shadows drift across the ceiling. By 10:20, I was asleep. The next morning, I woke up, not refreshed, but different. I checked the numbers: HRV 28. Blood pressure, 132/85. Not miraculous. But a start. A signal. Night 2, I prepared more intentionally. Phone off at 9. Warm chamomile tea. A few pages of an old novel. By 10:10, I was asleep. That morning, I woke before the alarm. Not because of noise. But because I felt calm. No racing heart. No mental fog. HRV 31. Blood pressure, 128/82. It felt like my heart whispered. Thank you for finally listening. From night 3 onward, I began writing things down. No app. No coach. Just pen, paper, and honesty. Each morning, I noted. My bedtime. My HRV. How I felt upon waking. One line read. Didn't feel dizzy getting out of bed. Another, didn't snap in traffic. Another still, remembered I'm alive. By the 5th night, I wasn't forcing anything. I was craving it. The quiet. The stillness. The pause before the world rushed in. I sat by the window. Watched the sky darken. And felt something I hadn't in years. Peace. My daughter noticed first. She asked if I had changed my medication. I laughed. No pills, I said. Just a better bedtime. By the 7th morning, I looked in the mirror. And I didn't see a tired old man. I saw someone, waking up for real. The numbers were proof. HRV, 36. Blood pressure, 122/79. But the true victory? The quiet smile I gave myself. Gentle. Grateful. Alive. That's when I knew. This wasn't a trial. It was a turning point. A way home, for my heart. I didn't plan to transform my life. There was no grand New Year's resolution. No medical ultimatum. All I wanted was to stop feeling broken in the mornings. And yet, 7 nights of sleeping before 10 p.m. did something profound. Not just to my body, but to my beliefs. I had always thought healing meant medication, surgeries, or giving things up. But now I was learning that healing could come from something much gentler. A shift in rhythm. A choice to rest before I collapse. A small moment of self-respect. That's why I created something simple. Not for experts. Not for perfection. But for real people like me. I call it the 7-night sleep tracker. It's just one page. Each night, I write down. What time did I get into bed? How I felt when I woke up. Optional, my blood pressure or HRV. That's it. No apps. No login. Just paper, pen, and honesty. Healing begins when we stop pretending and start paying attention. If you want to try it too, there's a link below the video. You can download it, print it, or copy it into your notebook. Make it yours. And if you don't want to do it alone, I've started a small Facebook group. Sleep Before 10, Harold's 7-Night Challenge. It's quiet, supportive, full of folks like us, figuring it out, one night at a time. If Facebook isn't your thing, just comment below. I'm in. 2 words. But they can mark a beginning. You see, real change doesn't begin in big moments. It begins with the quiet ones. In a bedroom lit only by moonlight. With a heart that's finally being heard. So give your heart a week. Sleep early. Stay honest. And see what happens. There's something strange about feeling better. At first, you don't trust it. You keep waiting for the pain to return. For the fog to roll back in. But it doesn't. Not like before. After those 7 nights, I noticed things I hadn't in years. The way my body moved in the morning was without resistance. The way my breath felt deeper. The way my mind felt less afraid. And then one morning, standing at the kitchen sink with a warm cup of tea, it hit me. I had forgotten what okay felt like. I had spent so many years managing, pushing through, surviving, that I forgot what it meant to simply feel well. Not perfect. Not young again. Just, well. And that, to me, was everything. You see, most of us don't need a miracle. We need a moment. A shift. A quiet sign from our body that says, we're on the right track. That's what sleeping before 10 p.m. gave me. Not a cure. But a signal. A second beginning. If you're still here, I want to thank you. For caring enough to listen. For giving your time to your health. For being open to something as simple and overlooked as sleep. You don't have to change your life tonight. You just have to pause long enough to ask. What if this is the one thing that makes everything else easier? I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to share what helped me. Sitting in stillness. I placed a hand over my chest. Giving myself 5 minutes each day to remember. I'm still alive. And I'm still capable of change. No fancy apps. No perfect posture. No incense or mantras. Just a chair. A clock. And a bit of courage to sit down and stay. And now, maybe it's your turn. Not because you're broken. Not because you're lost. But because you're still here. And if you've made it this far, maybe your heart's been whispering something too. So what if tomorrow morning? Before coffee. Before the news. Before the weight of the world settles in. You gave yourself 5 minutes. 5 minutes to breathe. 5 minutes to feel your heartbeat, not to panic. But to be present. 5 minutes to sit with whatever is inside. Not to fix it. But to face it. We call it heartfulness. Not because it changes the world. But because it gives you the softness to meet the world with strength. And if you'd like, you won't have to do it alone. We've created a small community. Seniors like me. People who've lived through things. Who sits, breathes, and gently checks in. One day at a time. There's a tracker. A 30-day challenge. A quiet space to write down what you notice. Not what you accomplished. But what you heard in the stillness. You can download it right below this video. No pressure. No expectations. Just one small act of quiet courage. One breath. One morning. One soft beginning. That's all it takes to begin again. If you're watching this after the age of 60, this may be the gentlest medicine you'll ever try. No prescriptions. No complicated routines. Just presence. Just breathe. Just time. Because sometimes, the hardest part of healing is giving ourselves permission to pause. So here's my invitation. Not a challenge. Not a checklist. Just a small, quiet offer. To give your heart what it's been asking for. Take 7 nights. Sleep before 10 p.m. Track how you feel. Don't aim for perfect, aim for present. Then take 5 minutes each morning. Sit in stillness. Place your hand over your chest. Listen, not for symptoms, but for signals. For softness. For something new beginning. If you'd like help, we've made it easy. There's a printable sleep tracker. A 30-day heartfulness journal. And a quiet Facebook group called Sleep Before 10, Harold's 7-Night Challenge. You don't have to share. You don't have to explain. Just show up. And if Facebook isn't your thing, just leave a comment below. I'm in. That's it. 2 words that change nothing. And everything. Because healing doesn't start with doctors. It starts with decisions. And this one is yours.